everyone. Our project is evaluating and showcasing the success of AJTCD's Social Innovative Students Program. I'm Catherine Bishop.
I'm Emma Hartzell.
I'm Rose McGovern.
I'm Julie Pham.
And I'm Matt Sanford.
Our sponsor is the Association Jeunesse Tomdoult pour la Culture et le Développement, which translates to the Tamdoult Youth Association for Culture and Development, also known as AJTCD. AJTCD is a non-governmental organization, NGO, founded in 2008 in Dhour Rahala, Akka, and Tata, Morocco. AJTCD currently operates out of Agadir in southern Morocco and serves youth in that region with the mission to create young leaders with a sense of initiative, creativity, and innovation by building their self-confidence and capacities to contribute to the sustainable development of their communities. AJTCD has run many programs over its decade and a half as a youth empowerment organization. The Moonshot program ran this past fall in partnership with the US Embassy in Morocco, where students attended workshops to develop their skills in science and technology. AJTCD also runs the Life Screen Summer Camp, a 2-week program aiming to develop students' artistic creativity and stimulate healthy competition. AJTCD just finished their Social Innovative Students Program, SIS, that focuses on youth entrepreneurship through partnering with different schools and hosting workshops about entrepreneurial and professional skills. The Social Innovative Students Program was launched by AJTCD in September of 2018 and ran through May of 2020. The program worked with 600 high schoolers and 100 undergraduates at 15 schools in southern Morocco. This program was created with the knowledge that entrepreneurship has socioeconomic benefits that would advance areas that lack in business development, such as southern Morocco. Entrepreneurship is an important topic for job security that is not covered in most Moroccan school curriculums. The SIS program provides youth entrepreneurship training that they don't receive in schools. The mission of the SIS program is to create the next generation of young entrepreneurs. During the course of the program, 30 workshops were held focusing on entrepreneurship and the professional skills needed to run your own business and succeed in the job market. These workshops also help students make their resumes, explored public speaking, and practice interviews. To extend the impact of entrepreneurship beyond the program, SIS started 17 clubs at the schools they partnered with focusing on entrepreneurship activities. The SIS program was funded through a grant from the US Middle Eastern Partner Initiative, MEPI. However, AJTCD is looking for funding for the program's continuation.
In order to better recognize why the mission of AJTCD's SIS program is important, it is necessary to understand Morocco's current economic situation. Over the past 60 years, the population in Morocco has steadily increased, going from 12 million in 1960 to 37 million in 2020. There are an insufficient number of jobs to account for the growing labor force. Before the coronavirus pandemic, which negatively affects the economy, the unemployment rate in Morocco was 9.2%. In 2013, 13% of Morocco's population emigrated out of the country in search of jobs and opportunity. Often when Moroccans emigrate, they send money, known as remittances, home to support their families. Morocco is the 11th largest receiver of remittances in the developing world, and the steady rate of skilled labor pouring out of Morocco is referred to as the brain drain. Despite the money sent home, the economy is heavily impacted by the loss of labor and skill leaving the country. Another important factor is the difference between rural and urban regions. While less than 50% of the Moroccan population is rural, 70% of those in poverty live in these rural regions. Rural areas tend to be disadvantaged in their access to electricity, internet, clean water, literacy, and education. The unemployment rate in rural areas is 3.7%, and there tends to be unskilled labor opportunities, which results in more employment for the uneducated members of society and those willing to work outside of their degree. In contrast, urban regions have an unemployment rate of 12.9%, with most of the work requiring an education. Therefore, rural communities experience higher employment rates but lower room for job growth as much of the work is unskilled, whereas urban communities have fewer employment opportunities. High unemployment and a steadily increasing population have disadvantaged youth in the labor market, with 80% of the unemployed in Morocco between the ages of 15 and 34. In particular, youth face many challenges in their transition from education to employment. As of 2019, the unemployment rate among people with degrees was 17%. Often, businesses feel that school graduates lack the necessary professional and industry-related skills, indicating a gap in Moroccan education curricula. Additionally, education does not equate to higher employability, with only 34% of the people in the workforce having a degree. Entrepreneurship is defined as the activity of setting up a business and taking on financial risks in hope of profit. Programs like SIS, which teach entrepreneurial skills, are important because they provide youth with the tools necessary for creating their own businesses, which stimulates the economy as well as improves employability through the addition of professional, networking, and soft skills. Additionally, empowerment through entrepreneurship programs inspires youth leadership and self-autonomy, which can diminish dependency on salaried jobs in an insecure job market.
This brings up the question, how effective is the SIS program in educating Moroccan students on entrepreneurship? Additionally, how can we evaluate the success of the program so that it can continue its mission of spreading entrepreneurship education throughout Morocco? Before we can evaluate the success of SIS, we need to collect data on the program's history and other programs with similar missions. To do so, a series of interviews and surveys will be conducted in order to get a better understanding of what the SIS program provides and generate quantitative data that can be used to display success. We will be conducting semi-structured interviews over Zoom with our sponsor, non-governmental organizations that are similar to AJTCD, and past participants of the SIS program. Since over 700 students have attended the program, we will create a survey with close-ended questions to be sent to the current and past participants that we cannot interview. Using the data collected through interviews and surveys, we will be able to proceed with our objectives, consisting of creating a template that can be used to evaluate the success of the SIS program, gathering and analyzing data to market the program's success, creating graphical marketing materials or visuals that can be used for AJTCD's social media pages and website, and finally, adjusting the template so that AJTCD can use it to evaluate its future programs.
Our first objective is to create a template that will assist us in evaluating the success factors of SIS. We will start by using interviews with AJTCD and other educational organizations to get a better idea of their goals for the future and how their program can improve. We will also be interviewing other NGOs in Morocco to understand how they market themselves for funding to external organizations so that we can apply those tactics to SIS. From here, we will research standard evaluation frameworks and see how the success of organizations have been evaluated in the past. Once we understand each of these factors, we will be able to finalize the template for baseline use with SIS. Our second objective will focus on gathering information from past and current SIS participants. We will be using surveys and interviews to see how past participants benefited from the program and how they think it should be improved. Once we have transcribed the interviews and have the survey data, we will use open coding techniques and statistical analysis to find which recommendations are felt by the majority of participants and use the success stories to better market SIS in Morocco as a successful NGO. Our third objective will focus on implementing the success stories gathered in Objective 2 into graphical marketing materials that we will be creating for SIS. These materials are meant to be displayed on their website and social media to help SIS and AJTCD gain the attention of external partners that could provide funding. Gaining additional funding is very important for NGOs like AJTCD to continue their programs, and we want to make sure that their efforts are being recognized by as many potential partners as possible. Our fourth and final objective is to adjust our evaluation template for long-term use by AJTCD. By making this template capable of future evaluation, we will ensure that AJTCD and the SIS program can periodically review their program and adjust as their needs change. One part of this will be developing a rubric for coding interviews with program participants. This will allow the program to better analyze any feedback they receive from their participants in the future. In addition, we will help to identify the long-term success factors and challenges that AJTCD will need to watch over going forward.
Our project has multiple benefits for our sponsor, the Moroccan community, and for potential funders. For our sponsor, AJTCD, evaluation and assessment is beneficial because it allows entrepreneurship training programs to determine if their curriculum is impactful for the involved participants. A yearly program assessment can also contribute to the creation of a standard for the program staff and the development of a shared vision throughout the program. Additionally, assessments are beneficial because they contribute to displaying the values and outcomes of the program to the stakeholders involved. In order to attract further sources of funding for financial support, our sponsor must be able to demonstrate that their program is successful. Providing AJTCD with a reusable template that can be used to evaluate the program's success gives the organization an effective and yet efficient way to identify their program's strengths and certain data points that can directly be used in their marketing efforts. Through the graphical marketing materials that we plan to develop, we hope that they will be able to guide AJTCD in the right direction as an example for future displays of success. This will make it easier for them to market their program's future successes and ultimately secure more funding and support. Our project will also impact the Southern Moroccan community through AJTCD's work. As mentioned earlier, Moroccan communities benefit from their youth learning more about entrepreneurship, as these educational programs provide the tools necessary for youth to create their own businesses and to increase their employability, which in the end stimulates the local economy. Where the curriculum taught in Moroccan public education systems lacks teaching the soft skills necessary to develop into professionals, NGOs fills this educational gap. Supporting NGOs such as AJTCD leads to more diverse future leadership where private versus public education doesn't necessarily determine someone's ability to have professional skills. If we're able to assist AJTCD in obtaining funding, especially for future instances, they'll be able to continue providing workshops and programs that ultimately create this cycle that contributes to improving Moroccan communities. And finally, potential funders will also benefit from the work that we are doing because they are looking to provide funding to programming that has the potential to improve a certain region or achieve a common goal that aligns with their mission. For example, AJTCD's current partnership with MEPI's purpose is to create a generation of young entrepreneurs by introducing the entrepreneurial concept to 600 high school students and 100 undergraduate students. AJTCD's core mission aligns with the goals of MEPI, making it a successful partnership, and this could not have happened if the two organizations were not aware of or able to contact each other. On top of that, international funding organizations choose to give grants once they have built trust with an aligning NGO by clearly understanding their mission. And one very effective way that NGOs can communicate their mission and show their effectiveness is through strong marketing campaigns and brand establishment. In developing our template that in part will strengthen AJTCD's marketing of its mission and program effectiveness, we're making it easier for them to be found by potential sponsors. This concludes our presentation. For further information, please reach out to us via the contact information on this slide. Thank you for listening, and are there any questions?